Hey, greetings and salutations. Getting a little lunch. Boy, I want to tell you a little story of what happened to me today. You know, I've made some questionable choices in my life. Some of them cost me, either emotionally or financially. But nothing was to prepare me today for the financial raping that I took from the DMV. Let me tell you how this whole thing started. So for those of you who've been here for a minute, you know I have an old dually square body, dually crew cab square body. I call it Big Red. And that truck and I have a history. For those of you who are new here, welcome. You're gonna get the update on Big Red. So this all started in 1999. I bought this truck, and it originally came with a diesel engine in it. It's a 6.2 diesel. It's got a stick in it, and I drove that truck for a year. I bought it in 99. I bought it in the summer of 99. I drove it for a year. I drove it out, my first trip out west to Montana in 2000, the summer of 2000. And a month after I got done with my vacation in Montana, I blew the engine up. So I started a frame off on Big Red that summer. I dismantled the truck, got a new engine. I spent a year and about $7,000. Sorry for the wind noise. Doing all this work to my beloved dually. In 2005, I moved to Nevada, and I couldn't drive two vehicles at the same time, so I left this truck in a barn at a friend's place where it sat for the next 7 years. In 2012, my son, who was 2 at the time, and I drove out to Michigan from Nevada in an old derelict 450,000 mile 7.3 power stroke powered standard cab pickup truck. We towed this thing back from Michigan, where I started to work on it. So I had the front clip painted, I had the bed painted, and I was working on the cab when we made the offer on this house, and it was accepted. So I pulled off of this to prepare for the move. We moved out here in January of 2013, and I had a rollback haul this out here where he plunked it out there next to the house, and it's been in a state of disassembly from 2013 to about a year or so ago. I have to check the video catalog to see when I finally put this thing back together, but I think it was about a year ago when I put the cab back on, or the bed back on this. So I spent the last year, you know, getting this thing ready for the road. And realistically, I could have put this thing on the road 6 months ago, but because of the coof, I couldn't go to the DMV. Which brings me to the second act of this story, the DMV. I went down to the DMV one morning, and I saw the line. It went all the way around the building. And I said to myself, "Self, you ain't got time for this today. Come back another day." So I waited a week, and I went down to the DMV on a Friday, and I looked out, and there was the parking lot was relatively empty. There was no line. I thought, carpe diem. I'm gonna go take care of this stuff right now. Well, it turns out I didn't have an appointment. That's why the line was so long there on Monday, because that's all they do there at the DMV here is make appointments. So I went back the next Monday morning and got my appointment for Thursday, 12/20. Well, I had 3 things that I needed to take care of. The blue Jeep needed a title transfer. Turns out I didn't need to do that. I just need to have a bill of sale. Long story long. I'm not going to go into it now. So then the only other two things I needed to take care of that day was registering the trailer and getting that legal, and registering the pickup truck and getting that legal. There's the registration for the trailer. There's a plate for the trailer. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, 50 bucks and done. Okay, now let's do the pickup truck. So I hand over the paperwork that I have, and she goes, do you have your last, you have your current registration? And I told her, I haven't registered this truck since 2003, and it's only been in Nevada since 2012, and it's been in a state of disassembly until 2020. So it's, you know, it's been a project vehicle, and I'm finally nearing the end of the project, and I'm ready to put it on the road. And the last registration I have for it is damn near 2 decades old. Why would I keep an 18-year-old registration? Which is the lesson of the day, kids. If you're like me and you got a project vehicle that's off the road for any extended period of time, if you're like me, you're not going to continue to register and insure it. Maybe you'll insure it, but you're not going to register it. Why would you spend money on registration on a vehicle that you're not going to drive for 5 or 10 years? To me, that's dumb. Well, your DMV or Secretary of State may vary. Maybe you can go down there and get some kind of in-op certificate that states that you're not, you know, an affidavit or something that you can sign that says I'm not going to put this thing on the road for an extended period of time. This was a week ago. She told me, I can't register this truck until we get a copy of your last registration. And then we're going to contact the Michigan DMV, the Michigan Secretary of State. They don't have a DMV in Michigan. The Secretary of State in Michigan, and get a copy of your last registration. So that means I had to come back the following Monday and make another appointment. And that appointment was for today. So I went down there, and Michigan didn't send anything. So they had to fill, and the thing that really irks me is that I could have taken care of this last week, but man, I didn't have the money last week. But things work out the way they're supposed to, I guess. But I was prepared to pay a few $100s, you know, to get this thing registered. But I was not prepared to have to pay $688.33 to register my truck. I have the receipt right here. Would you like to see it? So we have the new registration for the Chevy R3500, $688.33. And here's the breakdown. Plate cost recovery fee, $6. I don't know what the hell that's for. The VIN inspection, $1. Yeah, that's where you drive up and the guy looks at your VIN and all that stuff. That's fine. Late registration fee, $306. Ouch. Prison industry fee, $1. Apparently I got to pay $1 for the prisoners to make my license plate. The government service tax penalty, $16. The registration fee, $196 and change for the registration, and of course your basic government service tax of $161. And just to add a little insult to injury, the technology fee of $1, totaling $688.33. I feel violated. So the moral of the story is, at least when it pertains to paperwork regarding a vehicle, even if you don't plan on ever putting the vehicle on the road again, save your paperwork. You know, don't throw it out. If it, in fact, the only reason I didn't have to do this with the trailer is because I kept my registration with my title. You might think, well, that's kind of stupid, Rick. It's supposed to go with the vehicle that's pulling the trailer. Yeah, but when I bought that trailer, I had 3 vehicles that I had on the road, and I figured, at least in the state of Michigan, you buy a plate for a trailer, it's a forever plate. You don't have to register it. You register it once and it's good forever. So if they run the plate and it comes back to that trailer, I shouldn't have to show registration. And if I would have gotten a ticket, it would have been for not having proof of registration, which is not an infraction. So all I would have had to do was go home, get the registration, bring it to a cop, have him sign off on the ticket, and 0 points and 0 money. So that's why I kept the registration with the title, because I didn't know from day to day which vehicle it was going to go in, and I didn't want to lose the registration, so I just kept it with the title. I can almost remember when I threw the registration away, and it was a couple of years ago when I was cleaning the truck out and just going through everything. A couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure I had the registration. I had it. It was in the truck, and I just recently threw it away a year or so ago. But the good news is the truck's 100% legal. The trailer's 100% legal. I can move both of those without fear, and I can start using them now. So that's really what I wanted more than anything, was to be able to start driving the dually and shaking that down and working out all the kinks and bugs that might be there. And who knows, maybe I'll have enough time and money this year to put some air conditioning in it. That would be great. That would be great. I'd love to diesel swap that thing too, because it came with a diesel. I'd like to put either a first gen 12 valve, or I got a 6.2 in the garage, but it's probably going to cost a couple grand to get that thing up and running. That's typical of government agencies like that. There's no competition and there's no accountability. I mean, that was ridiculous. I had to pay late registration fees all the way back to 1999, where the vehicle wasn't even in the state of Nevada. Right? Just because I didn't have a registration approved the last time I was on the road. And regardless, even if I would have had that old registration, they probably would have charged me late registration fees going back to 2003, which wouldn't have been that much less, I don't think. So when it comes to dealing with government agencies, don't throw away any paperwork, ever. The only paperwork you can throw away, in my opinion, is tax information. At 7 years, you can throw your old tax information away. You burn it, actually. And but anything else, if you got a vehicle, please keep your stuff for the entire time you own the vehicle. The ironic thing is that I probably could have sold it to my wife for $1, had her go down to the DMV and change the title into her name, and then she promptly could have taken it home. It would cost me $12 or $15 for a title transfer, $60 to expedite the title, which I would have gotten in 2 days, where she could have promptly have signed it back over to me for $2, doubling her money, and then to go down and do that all again and save myself probably $500. But ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And if they would have found out, they probably screwed me anyway. So that's the DMV for you, I guess. And there are people that are clamoring for an agency like the DMV to take over our healthcare system. I think that's a terrible idea. If you like this video, smash the like button, share it with your vast social media network. If you haven't subbed to this channel yet, please consider doing so. And if you do, click the little bell icon. That way you receive post notifications. If you want to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do that. Smashing the like button and sharing it is the cheapest thing to do, but I've already asked you to do that, so I want to ask you again. If you shop on Amazon, like most of us do, check the links in the description where you can do all of your Amazon shopping through any of those links. The channel earns a little bit of commission that way. Doesn't cost you anything. I just get a couple of pennies. If you want to support the channel on monthly, there's Patreon and PayPal if you want to throw me a couple of bucks. yeah, if you can afford to do any of those things, thank you in advance. If you can't, it probably means we're cousins. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching. Beware the DMV, and I'll see you next time. Bye.